to go away if, like, I'm not, how would that work?
So is the question about a change of address or about, yeah. So the question is if you change your address mid-application. So you can always log into your CAO account with your application number and you can change everything. You can change everything except your name, I think, on it. And to change your name, you've got to contact the CAO, make a phone call and maybe provide some proof. Before the offers go out. Yeah, before you can change your mind all the way up to July. Yeah, all the way up to July and all the way up. You can change that. That's no problem. Yeah.
Doesn't the CAO open up again to change at some date?
It does. It's a good question. The question is, doesn't the CAO open up to change? And they have a couple of dates there, and I have a slide on that actually because it's worth pointing out. It's a good question. Yeah. So before we move on to that, it's just we might have some mature applicants. So that is if you are over 23 on the 1st of Jan. So if you're 23 on the 1st of January 2022, you're classified as a mature applicant. Do we have any mature applicants here tonight? No, so I don't need to go into any detail. So there is a whole couple of fields on the application process when you log in. Mature applicants they're not assessed on their leaving cert or on any sort of tests, so they provide supplementary documentation. So we'll keep moving. FETAC students, again, these are offered in an earlier round, so I think probably most of you are Leaving Cert students tonight, but if you're a FETAC student, there are 2 earlier rounds other than the round 1 in August. And there's a whole section when you're completing your CAO application that will help you guide you through that. So if you have any FE applicants and you've got questions for me, I'm happy to take them after the presentation. The same with HERE, if you're a HERE applicant or a DARE applicant. It's all explained on the CAO website, but again, you might have questions on that and we can talk about that after. You will get a statement of record from the CAO at the end of May, and this is where the CAO will send you out your paperwork. And like that address question, they'll say, is your name this, and is this your address, and are these your 20 choices, your 1 to 10 and your 1 to 10. And it's really important, particularly that's why I would say make sure you've got that text notification on your phone that you have a look at that, because if there's something wrong on that, that's your opportunity to change it. And they'll send you that out and they'll say, look, have a look at this. Have we got everything right for you? So it's a good opportunity. Just briefly, you might accept your place. You might accept an offer in August time and say, yep, I want to come into you there in Carlow and I'm going to start in September. And sometime between September and October, you might say, actually, I want to defer that year. I want to take a year out. And is it possible? So it is, but you don't accept your place when you get your CAO offer. If you know that you're going to defer, you want to keep that offer in the bag, but you don't want to come in September 22, you want to leave it till September 23. You can do that for a year. There's a little process involved. You don't pay any fees and you don't accept your offer, and you contact us here in the Institute and you fill out a form on our website and we go from there. But it is possible, just to flag it. So this is just coming back to your question there on the important dates. So tomorrow is your deadline for the €30 application. You can apply after that, but the cost goes up, as you can see. The 1st of May is a late application closing date, and again the fee goes up. You can see what's happening here. The fee's gone up to €60. And you can change your mind. So you put in all of your courses in those orders, and you can actually go in right up until the 1st of July and make a change to that. If you complete, you can rejig the order of preference, you can take out courses, you can put them in all the way up to July. And then come the 1st of July then, that's it. That's the end of it all, because you're coming into exam time then anyway, and your focus is going to be on your exams, or whatever way they do it this year, we don't know yet. So all the way up until the 1st of July, but you can't change your mind unless you have an application set up. So I would say if you don't have that yet, get in and get it set up and put in your choices. Even if you're not 100% on them, you can always change them. There's no problem, all the way up till the 1st of July. And then we start making the offers then. Round 1 is probably the one that most of you will be in for, and that's usually mid-August. And I have the dates there to be confirmed, because as you know, they haven't made up their mind yet on what they're doing with regard to exams or assessment or whatever. We don't know about that, and that remains to be seen. But usually it'll be mid-August. It's been a bit later the last 2 years because of the COVID and all the rest of it. It's usually about mid-August. That answer your question about the dates? Yeah. I think that's it, folks. Any questions or anything obvious I've forgotten? Yeah.
if you don't get like maybe option 2 in one round, in the next round you might get it. How do the rounds work? Like how do you
So round 1 is the big one. That round 1 is, so the question is, how do the rounds of offers work from round 1? So round 1 is the one we all know when you do your Leaving Cert and you're through. What happens after that is the colleges are working out their spaces. So I might have a class and there might be 10 places in it in business, and that's 400 points. But if 5 of those people, if they don't accept it, or they might have looked for an offer on it, but they might have accepted an offer somewhere else. So 5 of those people might be gone to Galway on me, or 5 of those people might have deferred, and now I have 5 spaces left in that class. So now I can make more offers. So that's it on a really simple, and that goes all the way through. So round 1 is the big one, and we go all the way to round 9. So we're making offers all the way into almost October, even though the first one is in August. And that's why I say to you, even if you don't think you're going to get what you want, put it down, because you just don't know. If you're not in, you can't win. You don't know what way it's going to play out. So there is round 1, but there's round 2, round 3, round 4, and it depends what's happening in the college. You might just be lucky and get that offer.
And I can accept option 3, and when round 2 or 3 comes along, I can accept option 2.
Yes, so if you've accepted, the question is, if you've accepted something in round 1, and then you get another offer in round 3, which could be 2 or 3 weeks later, can you accept? Yeah. Now it usually, I'll just put a caveat on that. Usually about 3 weeks into term, you can accept the offer. So if we start classes here, and let's say we start classes on the 1st of October, and you get an offer on the 1st of November, depending on that course, you might chat to us and we might say, look, you've missed 4 weeks of lectures, and that's quite a lot. So you can accept, but you might have to wait until next year. So there's a sort of a cut-off. The more it goes into the academic year, if you've missed too much, it mightn't be in your interest to start in November, if it's a tough course or whatever. But all things being equal, yes, you will get an offer and you can accept as you go, and then we can have a chat. Yeah.
You're fairly set on a course, and you're putting in the higher or the honours degree first or the level 8 first.
Yeah.
But the course also has level 7 and level 6.
Yeah.
Would you just put in the course then for level 7 and level 6 as well, if you're fairly set on that course?
Absolutely.
So do you make that your first preference on level 8, 7 and 6?
Yeah. You can put it wherever you want, wherever you feel comfortable. You don't have to have it at the same.
You have your mindset on it, but you're not really sure whether you get the points for level 8.
Yeah.
You put it in maybe at level 6 as well, and then...
Absolutely, because don't forget, we'll come back to our business example. If you don't get the points for the 4-year course, that honours degree, and you really want it, you put it on your level 7 list, and that's 3 years, and the points are always lower for a level 7. So you're lucky enough and you get your level 7. Yeah, absolutely. And you start, a lot of the time, you're in the same class as the people who are doing the level 8. So you are due to graduate at the end of year 3. And at the end of year 3, it's called a progression route. You can always apply to progress into that level 8. So if you come in doing a 6, you can progress your way and still leave in 4 years' time with that level 8. You just mightn't have gotten the level 8 on the first offer. So absolutely, there's always ways and means. I think traditionally in our minds was always you come in and you do your honours degree or you do your level 6 2 years. Now we're very focused on progressing students. So if you come in, you might do level 6 for 2 years. And if your results are good enough at the end of those 2 years, you say, look, can I progress into year 3? Or can I progress into year 4? And we do what we can to help you at that time. Yeah, it's really important. And behind you there, sorry. So the question is, if you're doing a PLC course, do you have to have the CAO filled out? Yes, you do, is the short answer, because if you're coming in, so that's what we're calling FETAC. If you're coming in, you've got to come in through the CAO. So if you haven't already, get in and just make your application while it's still €30. And there's a few more tick boxes, and there's you sort of go through the application form a little bit differently. But if you have a full award, at FE, at your PLC level, you plug all of that into your application, and that's how you come into first year. Yeah, very same. Good question.
Do you know what way to apply for PLCs?
So that's a separate one. You apply directly to those colleges. Yeah, so they are further education, and essentially we are higher education.
If the further education is Carlow, would that be part of the IT?
No, it's a separate institution. So that's further, Carlow Institute of Further Education. So they're a separate institution. So I'd say to you, contact them directly and apply that way. And if you do end up going there and then you've done a year or two there, you're then maybe next year or the year after a FETAC applicant, and you might look to, you can sometimes progress into year 2 of our course, if you like. You can skip first year. So there's a whole other way around that, and they'll be able to, so if there's a particular course you're interested in, you can talk to them about it, and we have links with some further education colleges. So we do have courses, and we say, if you're coming from Carlow Institute, you might be exempt, as we say, from year 1, and you might be able to go straight into year 2. But it's worth a conversation. So you could contact our admissions office, or you could contact your further education provider and have a look at just what that route is. But it's a really good route as well. Yeah, really good route. Okay.
You had 3 categories.
Pardon?
You had shown 3 categories.
I have 3 categories.
You had shown 3 categories: round A, round 1, and round 0. Right?
Yes, so round A and round 0. Yeah, round A is usually in early July. And that is for anybody who is a mature applicant, so 23 from the 1st of January, or maybe a deferred applicant. So we in the higher education colleges, if somebody did their Leaving Cert or came through the system last year and they deferred, we sort of deal with them early on in July. So that's not relevant to anybody who's doing their Leaving Cert.
But are those seats actually reserved? You know, they'll all be doing the same course, right?
Will they all be doing the same course?
Right. Similar to what round 1 is.
Yes, so we deal with different applicants in each round.
Will there be separate seats reserved, or those will all, if those seats are not filled, then those trickle down into?
We factor it in for the places. Yeah, so we know what offers we make in what round, but we're just dealing with different groups of applicants. Yeah, exactly, in the different rounds. Yeah, yeah. Is that okay? Thank you all for your time. If anybody has